Hey there, I'm David from Extreme Vocal Institute, and I'm here today at Telefunken headquarters to test out some microphones and find what's going to be the best for me for screaming. I'm a vocal coach at Extreme Vocal Institute, and I work with many different artists across rock and metal on the radio and on tour and on festivals on all of their screams, all their extreme vocals, and helping to make sure that everything is always reliable, healthy, and sounding as powerful as possible. I've used many different microphones in my time as a vocalist and as a coach, but I've never actually used all of these different Telefunken mics that are available, even though I have personally always used Telefunken mics. So let's try some of these out together here and see how these handle my screams and what they sound like. All right, and we're gonna start with this right here, the TF11, which I have not tried before. This has, I can definitely hear a lot of brightness here. Even when I raise my voice, woo, I can hear a lot of really great high end there that adds a lot of excitement. And yet a lot of depth too. The nice thing about all that high end is that's going to cut through really well in a mix when you're recording, regardless of what kind of extreme vocal moment you're doing within like rock or metal or anything like that. This is based off of, I know, the much higher end, the 251, but this is cool because this is a really affordable price point mic, and I know this one, per what the guys here were saying, is tubeless, and there's no like power supply, so you can just plug this directly in and use phantom power and pack this thing up really easy, this one too, and take them kind of anywhere. I really like that a lot. I know I have this one in my home studio just on a podcast arm to be able to whip it out at any point and use really quick and really easy. And yet the quality of this and what it sounds like, is pretty wild. Let me try this to some music. You were pushing me backwards. Your broken ego will kill us all. You chose to fall in the first place. With bleeding hands, I'll forge my second fate. Yeah, that is crispy. The body on that's really nice. It's cutting through really, really well. I've used the top tier version of what this microphone is before, and I'm getting a lot of reminiscent character from this. And we are running just really basic minimal processing on this, just so you can kind of hear what it would be like if you're recording this with music and in the context of actually having it with songs. Because if this was just on its own, you're not going to really hear all the detail you need. I am getting so much from this, and it's really, really nice. And I'm excited to see what kind of character profile each of these microphones has and hearing the difference between them. And for all of you out there that don't know, I'm testing out a little clip here from my band Renaissance called Labor of Hate today. So let's move on and see what the TF17 sounds like. This one here is the TF17, and right away when I come onto this microphone here with my voice, I'm already hearing a lot of differences. There's definitely more like richness in kind of like the middle low end here. This one is a more affordable price point model of the higher end series of the U47, very, very classic, famous Telefunken microphone. And the thing I like about this in terms of what this can do for my voice specifically, because I have a bit of a darker voice, is this definitely helps to bring a little more of that depth detail across in terms of like the overall, like even if I just sing a note, like that intensity in the low end. And when I pull a low scream through that, you get a ton of that in there with still enough high-end intensity to help that carry through. Definitely not as much as this guy. Let's see what that does in context with the song.
You were pushing me backwards. Your broken ego will kill us all.
You chose to fall in the first place.
With bleeding as I forge my second veins.
The way this comes across is just tough. It's mean, and I really like that a lot. And it's funny because this is so known for being like a sweet sounding, like very classic microphone, known for so many classic songs. And yet the context we're using it for here works so well for things more aggressive. And I think that's really exciting, especially considering how much more accessible these pieces are and the fact that you can really take them anywhere. Like if you're someone that wants to go record at a friend's house, or if you're an artist on tour and you want to bring a little mobile setup with you to be able to write on the road. I have a lot of friends that do a lot of that on their vehicles. So this is a really great option. I'm loving both of these so far. Let's move up here further down the line. This beautiful microphone here is the TF39, and I'm somehow only learning today that this one is its own thing. We're not based on anything here. This microphone, it's truly its own voicing, which is really cool and unique at that. I've never tried this mic before, and it's so interesting hearing how there's a big boost here in the low end in terms of like almost like the boominess of my voice. It almost like reminds me of an NPR radio kind of vibe a little bit, a little more of a podcast vibe, if you will. If I move up in my voice, woo, like even as I speak higher, I can still feel and sense a ton of low end. Ah! Ah! Yeah, even in my higher screams, there's so much, and you can probably all feel and hear it too. There's so much deep sound there. That's really interesting. I wonder what that's going to do with music playing.
You were pushing me backwards. Your broken ego will kill us all.
You chose to fall in the first place.
With bleeding as I forge my second veins.
Wow. It's not necessarily that it's like dark to the point where like I'm not hearing what I need, but it's such an interesting vibe. It almost feels more old school. Like comparatively, it feels a little more classic. Like when I do that, even to my own music, it makes it sound like it's almost coming from another era, like almost something like 80s, 90s metal kind of thing. That is really interesting. Depending on the kind of voice you have, especially I've worked with a lot of vocalists that will like per se have higher pitched voices and struggle sometimes feeling like they're hearing enough of the low end of their voice translate in tandem with what the music is doing. This can help bring out a lot of the low end that your voice already has. For me, because I already have a lot of it, I'm noticing a lot. But if it's tough for you, this might be perfect for you. That's a really interesting voice. And now we're going to move on. This one here for me is very tried and true, and I've had many years of experience with this. This is the TF47, one of my favorite mics I've used. I use this at our home studio for Extreme Vocal Institute, and I use this in studio for everything with Renaissance, with our incredible producer, JD DeBleek. I love this microphone. I love what it does for my voice specifically. Again, another microphone meant to really operate similarly to that classic U47. It has a ton of depth. The body of the way it brings out so much of the detail of the middle of the voice, so much of the clarity, and yet almost like a subtle saturation in there too, while still letting it breathe, letting it still have that airiness to it. And when I scream, like right in the middle of my voice, from here, hey! Or even if I do other kinds of screams where you hear more of my voice come through, hey! Hey! The kind of intensity I get out of that is something I just love. And with that in mind, these mics, all three of these here do have tubes. They do have their own power supply. So these are a little more souped up, and I can feel that in it too. It's a subtle detail, but it's something I really enjoy. And now I'm going to record this with Labor of Hate, this clip here of the song today, with the same microphone that the actual one is recorded with.
You are pushing me backwards. Your broken ego will kill us all.
You chose to
Fall in the first place. We're bleeding and to force my second fate.
It's crazy how much that feels like home. And even remembering tracking this, because this is a song that I happen to track myself, I get so much familiarity within just knowing what my voice is capable of through this. And for other people using this for the first time, I think this microphone works really well in terms of having a good starting point that's kind of perfectly in the middle. If your voice leans a little bit one way or the other, I feel like this can complement you either way. I know it definitely does that for me. And now we've got one more. Lastly here we have the TF51, and this one, kind of like its cousin over here at the very end that we started with, is based on the incredible Telefunken 251, which I have had a decent amount of experience with within the first wave of what Renaissance was years ago. And it's really interesting remembering what that sounds like, knowing the TF11 down there, and now hearing this. There's a not in like a good way or a bad way, like difference, but like the unique qualities this has in terms of what I'm hearing, where like the emphasis in my voice is so cool. And I'm hearing it like way more in like the upper mids here. Every one of these mics and every mic I've ever tried has such a unique voice, which is something I really like about how that translates to screaming. For example, if I go through my whole range here, you might notice that there's a lot more emphasis in the middle there if you can kind of get your ear to focus like mine is.
Hey! 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 Hey!
There's a lot of intensity in that upper mid, and that helps to create a lot of, I guess what I would describe as like biting into the sound, a really bitey sound. And depending on the kind of voice you have, that could help bring out a lot of that kind of more aggressive character that we need for screaming, especially to make sure it's able to be balanced along with everything else. That being said, EQing something screaming wise, any kind of extreme vocal is going to be really important regardless of the style of music you're using it with. But having really great source material and having the way the microphone shapes your voice both complement you and complement what you're trying to do is a really important first step. So without further ado, let's try this one.
You are pushing me backwards. Your broken ego will kill us all.
You chose to
Fall in the first place. We're bleeding to force my second fate.
Yeah, it's nice. It's bitey. It's got a lot of aggression. And I can hear the differences in terms of what that's bringing out for me here versus any of these other microphones. And at the end of the day, the microphone that's going to make the most sense for you is really going to be based on your voice. So any chance that people have to test some of these out, I highly recommend it. And I highly, highly recommend Telefunken microphones. I've been using these for so long, the entirety of the time that I've been running Extreme Vocal Institute, and I know that these products and these microphones, in terms of how they're made, in terms of the attention to detail, and in terms of just that really incredible classic sound they have while still bringing forward so many modern elements, that I'm in good hands here and my voice is in good hands for whatever I need to use my voice for. And with that in mind, I'm going to pick now which of these I think is the best for my voice and the best mic for me for extreme vocals. And now the moment we've been waiting for. What do I think is going to be the best microphone for screaming, at least for me? And the winner, unsurprisingly to me, is right here, the TF47. I've loved this microphone for so many years. I've had the pleasure of having one for many years myself for everything we do and everything I work on myself. I love the way it sounds. I love the way it complements my voice. Does that mean it's going to be the perfect choice for everybody? Not necessarily, but I love the exact detail that this brings out of my voice. That being said, I was very surprised at what the runner-up was, especially because it's not one of the ones that sounds like the U47. It was actually the first microphone of the day. The TF11 right here really surprised me, considering how much more affordable this one, the fact that it's based off of a different microphone, the 251, and yet the character profile of this is so different from anything I've experienced in terms of the excitement and the air and the way that it makes both the lows and the highs really sing. So even though I have this one right here at home, if I needed to pick a number 2, surprisingly to me, this would actually be my own personal choice and what I would request right here. So I'm really glad that I got to try out all of these microphones here. And speaking of these microphones, and speaking of Telefunken and the TF47 here and what it's based on, we are very fortunate to have the classic, the Diamond series, the U47 right here. I have never really screamed into one of these before. I know for many of you at home, the idea of screaming into something so iconic, luxurious, and high-end can be a little intimidating, but they can definitely handle it as long as you are respectful of the equipment. Let's try this. And now, ooh, yeah, that's nice. The U47 is so rich. And I've heard recordings on these microphones before, and of course, like for many decades, this has been such an iconic sound, but hearing it with my own voice is really, really cool. Because the capsules are made similarly in terms of how they respond. I know the microphone that I have, the TF47, responds similarly, but something about this in terms of almost the hum of my voice, is so awesome. This one is really exciting. And if I get kind of loud, oh, yeah! That's really cool with what that does. And the high end is there, but it's not piercing or anything like that. It's just really nice and warm, but not too warm. Oh! Am I the first person to do vocals this extreme into a U47? Maybe. Let's try this with some music.
You are pushing me backwards. Your broken ego will kill us all.
You chose to
Fall in the first place. We're bleeding as I'll forge my second fate.
That is so cool and so nice, and it's really interesting. My ears can definitely notice these differences, so even while I'm doing this with the music, I can hear so much of that sweetness, so much of that like mid-intensity that this microphone is known for, and just like that classic body sound of the way it creates that richness, almost like the vocal is like, not artificially so, but like smooth like butter almost. especially as I slide around my voice. Really, really cool to be able to scream into this. I've had so much fun testing out all of these Telefunken microphones today. And now to bring it all home, I'm going to do a little more on my trusty tried and true TF-47.
You are pushing me backwards. Your broken ego will kill us all.
You chose to
Fall in the first place. With bleeding as I forge my second fate. Out of my misery. You can't hide it, don't deny a thing. Left a life for you to be enough for anymore.
break free of this phantom hourglass where we all live and die for nothing. A waste divine when there was still time where you and I were meant for something
More than this.
You're just a toxic clone born of hate by you.
No, I'll never be alone. There's a room in this place, so get out of my face. It's a pretty good start. It's a state of mind, now your mind, but am I broken out, rather than forced apart? I am not who I once was. I am not what I will become. I will be for myself now.
The deed is done. Break free of this phantom hourglass where we all live and die for nothing. A waste divine when there was still time where you and I were meant for something. Alone in faith and hollow trust, another shining excuse for us. And now we're gone our separate ways. There's no going back.
I think we're better betrayed.
You're just a toxic clone!
Clone! Clone! Clown! Watch me burn! Down! Everything I've built for there will be no such a will lie. We know the truth. Yet I will look upon the pearly gates. This is a labor of hate. Sith packages watch me burn.
If you want to hear these vocal takes on their own and mess around with these files yourself, you can grab that download right here below.